set it up. Start working on developing your investment book of business. Everybody say investor's book of business. Investor's book of business. That is the difference between a guy, like I said, who's trying to find 2 or 3 guys and a guy who's going to run a real successful business. When you go to a bank, and I don't mean the little guy that greets you when you walk in, right? Or that you say, man, my debit card got shut off. And you got to go sit down with this guy who's going to try to activate it, right? And you say, what's my account balance? And he pulls that. I'm not talking about an investor's book of business like that. I'm talking about how a bank will hire strategically multiple managers of their book of business. And their number one objective is to connect with the top 10% of their clientele. What that means is their job is to build a relationship with the people who brought in the most value, the most money, the most business to their place. Why do you think that's so important to the bank? Anyone?
It's long term.
Long term?
Money, because that's the way they're going to
Money.
generate money. Creation, they see dollars.
Money, right? Like, woo!
Less work, fewer people.
Less, exactly. Okay, anybody else? Why would a bank pay somebody $150,000 a year to build a relationship with their guys with the biggest money and the biggest accounts?
Makes you the most money.
Yeah.
It makes you the most money. Perfect example, exactly. So do you then think, go ahead, you were saying something?
Oh, you want to keep them forever.
You want to keep them. Retention, absolutely, absolutely. Any other ideas? Pretty much the same. That makes sense, right? The reason why a bank does that is because it is crucial. They have a very strategic process behind having their asset managers or running their book of business, because they have learned. Let's say I open an account for $1 million today at Wells Fargo across the street. In fact, I actually have an account with them. All right? Their goal, since I brought a pretty significant deposit to the table, their goal is to retain me. Their goal is to get me hooked on another product, because they found that if I, the investor who opened one account with $1 million, have multiple products and services with them, I will most likely stay with them long term. One of the reasons why when you open your account, the very first thing that the person says, even at the small levels, can we set up your online banking? Right? You would think that is a product. They're selling you a product. It's free, but it's a product that gets you hooked. Because once you got your online payments, and you got all the other things in place, before you quit and you start switching over, you're like, oh, that's going to take hours to switch. You know what? Forget it. I'll just keep that for now. Right? Because you're already in. They've got you in cross-reference in different products. You're hooked. That's the reason why they'll say, hey, Mr. Investor, and that comes to me all the time. How would you like to do a line of credit? I don't need your line of credit. I don't want to tie up my house in a line of credit. But they will keep pitching me. Why? Because they know that if I can get a line of credit, I'm now connected. Does that make sense?